Just a moment ago, it seemed like Reform UK was on the verge of rewriting British politics forever. A wave of polling suggested a political earthquake was underway, one that threatened to shatter the old two-party system. For a brief, stunning moment, they looked like Britain's new number one party. But behind the headlines and the dizzying poll numbers, a very different story is unfolding. A story of crippling scandals and bitter internal feuds that are threatening to bring the entire project crashing down. This isn't just a political stumble, it's a full-blown implosion that could see Britain's most talked about party collapse before it ever gets a real taste of power. To really get a grip on the crisis, you first have to understand the sheer breathtaking speed of Reform UK's ascent. After the Labour Party won a landslide in 2024, the political order seemed locked in for years. But simmering voter disillusionment created a vacuum, and Nigel Farage, as he has so many times before, exploited it with ruthless efficiency. The polls in mid-2025 told a dramatic story. A YouGov survey showed them taking the lead in national vote share, a historic first. Then came the projections. An electoral calculus MRP poll in late June was the most dramatic, forecasting Reform would win a staggering 377 seats, making them the largest party with a commanding majority. This surge was fueled by an exodus of voters from the Tories. Polling crosstabs from the period suggested a huge chunk of 2024 Conservative voters had switched their allegiance to Reform UK. This momentum carried them to significant gains in the 2025 local elections, where the party won an historic number of council seats, giving them a foothold in local government for the very first time. They promised a revolution, slash wasteful spending, scrap diversity initiatives, and get council staff back in the office. It was a message that cut through, and suddenly Reform weren't just a protest vote anymore, it looked like a government in waiting. But with great power comes great scrutiny. And as journalists and opponents started digging into the hundreds of new candidates being put forward, the entire project began to unravel. The party's vetting process, or the apparent lack of one, had become its Achilles heel. The warning signs were all there. During the 2024 election, reports swirled about candidates being dropped over offensive online comments. At the time, Farage blamed the snap election, claiming that there just wasn't enough time for proper checks and promising to professionalise the party. That promise hasn't aged well. After the May 2025 elections, the scandals came thick and fast and continue to do so. Reports emerged of newly elected councillors being suspended, expelled or resigning over past conduct. Details from local reporters painted a grim picture. One new councillor was allegedly a disgraced ex-cop, while another was reportedly being investigated for breaking election laws. The leadership response has been, to put it mildly, chaotic. In July 2025, Nigel Farage himself reportedly admitted that minimal due diligence had been done on one of his own MPs, James McMurdoch. McMurdoch had recently resigned the party whip amid an investigation into COVID loans. It was then alleged in the press that he had failed to disclose a past criminal conviction. It all raises serious questions about competence. In March 2025, Farage had appointed Jack Aaron to head up the party's vetting. Yet Aaron himself had previously faced heavy criticism for unearthed remarks where he allegedly described Hitler as brilliant at inspiring people and Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad as gentle by nature. The man tasked with cleaning up the party was himself part of the problem. Now, this is a story that's developing day by day, a high-stakes political drama with the future of the country hanging in the balance. If you want to stay updated and get the real story behind the headlines, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. The vetting crisis hasn't just been an embarrassment. It's lit a fire inside the party, sparking a series of brutal feuds that now threaten to tear it apart. The rapid expansion has brought together a volatile mix of political opportunists, true believers and single-issue fanatics, and the cracks are starting to show. In early 2025, there were reports of councillors resigning from the party, protesting what they call Nigel Farage's autocratic leadership style and claiming the party was being run and his personal fiefdom, with all decisions for all councils coming from London. But that was just the warm-up act. In March 2025, the party seemed to erupt into open civil war. Rupert Lowe, the Reform MP for Great Yarmouth, reportedly gave an interview criticising Farage's leadership, calling it messianic. The response was swift and brutal. The party suspended Lowe, and it was reported that he was being investigated over allegations of bullying and that a complaint had been made to the police. Lowe fired back, denying everything and claiming he was a victim of a smear campaign. The fallout has been toxic. Additionally, the party chairman Zia Yusuf resigned in June 2025 after a brief tenure, following a reported public row with a fellow party member over a ban the burqa question. It was another sign of a party in chaos, unable to maintain even a basic level of discipline. Defections are also causing friction, with reports of residents in areas like Worcestershire demanding a by-election after their police and crime commissioner defected from the Conservatives to Reform. Faced with a party in open revolt, Nigel Farage has gone on the offensive. His strategy? Blame everyone else. He has lashed out at what he calls obstructionism from the civil service, claiming they are deliberately trying to sabotage Reform's agenda. An example from Warwickshire, where a young Reform councillor reportedly demanded a council building remove a pride flag and was refused, was framed by Farage not as a sign of inexperience, but as proof of a deep state bureaucracy blocking the will of the people. But whilst the party talks tough, the practical realities of governing are proving a little bit more complicated. For example, a pledge by the Reform-led council in Northamptonshire to end flexible working reportedly stalled when it was revealed that getting everyone back in the office would cost an extra £328,000 a year to have more space. In Durham, the same exercise would have cost an estimated £3 to £5 million, so was quietly dropped. Now, I've covered Worcestershire on this channel several times, but there's been similar issues in Lincolnshire, Derbyshire, Staffordshire and Leicestershire. And furthermore, their previously announced London mayoral candidate, Ant Middleton, has now said he will stand as an independent candidate and not under the Reform banner. And members of the party are declaring that they are cancelling their memberships and joining the Advance Party, founded by former Reform members Rupert Lowe and Ben Habib, backed by the Great British Pack. Farage has also been openly accused on a number of occasions of making the party more mainstream, replicating the very parties that he claims to despise, and that tasting power has led to the party being less of a disruptor and more of a louder version of what has come before. Announcements with lack of real-world detail, unbalanced budgets that appear to have been worked out on a beer mat, and a non-existent programme for local government have also not helped. This constant state of crisis is seemingly damaging the party's credibility, and people see the chaos, the infighting and the scandals, and they're starting to ask, is Reform UK really ready for power? Now, while Farage is seen by some as the de facto leader of the opposition, the public remains unconvinced. A YouGov poll in August 2025 found that Keir Starmer was still preferred to Farage as Prime Minister, 35% to 28%. What was seen as an even bigger and more damaging insult for Reform was the leader of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Ed Davey, polled higher than Farage. In fact, Davey polled higher than the Tory leader as well and was equal to the Prime Minister, and had a better approval ratings than any other party leader. So where does this leave Britain's most disruptive political force? Reform UK is still riding a massive wave of popular discontent, soaring in polls on the promise to break a failed consensus. Their rise has been phenomenal, and yet they seem to be fundamentally at war with themselves. A toxic mix of poor vetting, amateur candidates and bitter infighting is undermining their every rule. The party's now at a crossroads. Can it professionalise and prove it is a serious political movement? Or will it continue down this path of self-destruction? Nigel Farage has built a revolution by channeling the anger of millions. The great irony is that the very forces of chaos he unleashed might be the thing that brings his own party to ruin. Reform promised a political earthquake, but are they about to become its first casualty? The coming weeks will show if Britain's breakout party can survive its own success. So, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below or on our social media channels, and if you've enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future updates and content. Thanks for watching.